I'm going to play this call just as a kind of opener to our first barrel or nah. This will segue into it. So here we go.
The Lee Scales and Chaz listening to the grit.
By the way, the call gets a little bit garbled, but in a second, he's going to reference the 2% movement that we discussed at the end of last show. Chloe and Dino and the 2%.
26 billion Dino and the 2%. And is it hypocritical? Yada, yada, yada. Come on. Look at his Instagram. The very first thing he has written there is Jesus Family Surf. Okay, then he goes on a tirade and drops the F-bomb 18,000 times, blasting the surf industry, which he benefited off of for many, many years. So yeah, the whole thing's hypocritical. He's hypocritical. It's hypocritical, and it's lame. It's lame. It's just lame. And you know what? It's outer known 2.0. The shit is way too expensive. It's ridiculous. It's a money grab. Later.
So I'm going to use that to segue into barrel or nah, identifying as religious, but openly using curse words.
Barrel, David Lee Scales. How do you think I live my life? And I try to use them less these days. But yeah, I mean, I think in context, I think cussing in the life of a young religious man or woman has its place, right? Like you grow up and bad words are bad. Then you move, you get a little older and they become rebellious. And so you start peppering in some bad words, right? And then you maybe use some more bad words. And then you start experimenting with like I don't know, the palette of bad words that you were denied as a child. And you're kind of overboard. Now you are a Val Cusser, right? You're doing it all wrong. Like people who don't cuss and people who don't smoke, you can see them a mile away. When somebody's at a party and somebody busts out a pack of cigarettes and the one person who takes it all super awkwardly and like puffs on it, you can know. And same with people like when they're, oh man, I was just in the car the other day and somebody was going in front of me slow and I was just shit. I was just, shit. Like it's just awkward and it's incorrect and it's bad, right? So anyway, you go through your Val cussing phase and then either now you reach the inflection point where your cussing develops into a art, right? You use it correctly, you hold it back because the overuse of cussing is a problem, right? These are supposed to be powerful words. And when powerful words are dropped, scattered too often, they lose their power. All to say, then you come around to wherever you end up, right? In Kolohe's case, I'm going to say this is not at all hypocritical. Even specifically, his rant against the surf industry has our dear listener not read the Gospels where Jesus went into the temple and overturned the money tables and started whipping everybody and yelling and carrying on. Now, I don't know that he was cussing, but there was definite anger and emotion, which is what Kolohe is exhibiting here. And maybe it is a little bit, I read Kolohe's thing, and it does have a lot of non-native speaker in the way the cusses are being used, right?
He's in the Val phase of his cussing.
He is in the Val phase of cussing, but I'm going to allow Kolohe to move through this Val phase. You end up one or two places in my experience. You end up as a really refined cursor, or you end up using it a lot less.
Well, as it relates to identifying as religious, I think that is it's a problem for me when I see somebody who has like the Christian sticker on their car and then they are flipping somebody off. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like, and so that's I think what the caller's issue is like, look, Kaloe, you go to his bio line and you see he's identifying as this thing first and foremost.
Yes.
And then when your behavior is reflecting something that isn't congruous with that thing, it becomes a little dissonant,
Dicey. I hear you. I hear you. Except in this specific case, though, I like if Kolohe was out, Jesus, family, God, but everybody knew that Kolohe has 4 other partners, including Gabriel Medina, that we would, in that context, and it's like, oh, I mean, I guess good that you're bold about your faith, but also you got to kind of live it too, right? But in this specific case, I don't think this is hypocrisy.
I I like what you said about the evolution of cussing and then reserving them for making an impactful statement. I would just warn or caution people to really be flying the flag of like whatever your religion is as your overarching identity, because you are going to fall short of the prime example of that thing. So maybe just live by example. And if you slip up, then you're not necessarily held to the cross, so to speak.
To the high standard. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's good advice, David Lee Scales.
Okay. All right.
Tools
Well,
to live by.
I don't know if we've barrel or not. I'm going to go no barrel on that one.
I'm going barrel.
Okay. Uh, Barrel or not, wearing surf specific attire in public, question mark. Board shorts are the most common, but I've seen Instagrams with guys wearing their changing ponchos at the grocery store. It's only a matter of time until we see hooded rash guards at dinner, surf leggings into club, or a barista wearing webbed gloves. And of course, whether this becomes acceptable all depends on your answers here. Barrel or not, surf attire in public.
No barrel, and I'm going to go hard no barrel here too. I know we've all sinned and fallen short in this case, where specifically when we are on a surf vacation, we are, let's say we're in, Cabo, driving to the beach, blah de blah, surf, you're driving back, you stop at restaurant and get food, and you are in your trunks and maybe even shirtless in the restaurant. It's like, we need to stop that. That's not cool. That's not good. I'm going to say okay, specifically in tropical surf locales, I'm going to allow the board short and nothing else. You can do board short, with a fresh t-shirt or a button up or a whatever. But if you're wearing your board shorts and your hooded rash guard, no. I'm going to say hooded rash guard is never to be seen in public other than in the water. Board shorts, I'm going to give it an okay.
It's a slippery slope. You got to
You're
go
right.
hard yes or hard no. I'm going hard no on this one because it's only a matter of time. If you allow one thing, it slips into all these other things. And so you got to go. And first of all, you've changed drastically because you used to have a no shorts in public policy, full stop. And I think that is the right policy still.
It's true, except I'm picturing all the times that I've been in Cabo, coming back from surfing East Cape or whatever, driving into town and being starving. And I didn't bring a change of clothes. I was surfing. And I'm not going to a fine dining establishment, but I am in public ordering my 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila before I end up on the floor.
Thing is, it's just impractical too. Like the board shorts you're talking about, you got to
They're
deal with
chafing at that
chafing.
point. They're
You got to
chafing.
you got to deal with chafing. Now you have to hold your wallet and your phone in your hand because they don't fit in that pocket, or they'll get sandy or waxy if you put them in
It's
your
true.
pocket. So it's just the wrong choice all the way around. You bring a change of shorts, you swap out.
You've converted me. I'm a hard no.
Okay,
Hard no
good.
barrel.
No barrel wearing surf attire in public. Final barrel or not? Coming off of Michael Dunphy's Instagram 2 days ago, pulling someone's leash.
Like seeing that made me so joyful. Every bit of that was a joyful clip. And I failed to tag, I put it on my own Insta and failed to tag the filmer. I can't remember who it is. It's whoever it was. That whole clip was done so well. Like, not only the fact that they captured the leash pull itself was a work of art, right? And for those who haven't seen it, you can go on to, I don't know, Surf
At
Journalist. I
Michael
know it's
at
there.
Michael Dunphy or
Not Michael Dunphy. Where, it's like a tubby longboarder dude who clearly, was out in front. You don't see the drop in, but is out in front of Michael Dunphy, who comes up on him, gives the leash such a good yank, like buries his rail to provide extra torque for the leash pull, pulls the dude right off, and then almost slams a dude in the face who is like paddling out, taking out two birds with one stone, as they say. But the way the clip is shot, it's not just you see it and then it's done. Like, the filmer zooms in on Dunphy's face as he's pulling. He pulls back. He zooms in on the longboarder as he's falling, all in slow motion. He zooms in again as Dunphy almost drills the dude paddling out. I mean, the whole thing, it's like a real work of art, but made me so happy and made me think the leash pull we got to bring it back full stop. It is the best. Hard to execute. You got to be like down there grabbing the leash. Hard to pull. Like, you can just as easily send yourself over the falls trying to pull if you don't do what the Dunphy did, like really backload it. So really hard to execute and deeply shameful for the person who has it happen to them, but not damaging, not physically damaging, just emotionally damaging.
Totally. Yeah. And Dunphy's was a perfect execution of it. And the other zoom in that you didn't mention is Dunphy sticking his tongue out while
Yeah.
he's doing it. Dunphy's like fully like, ah, like it looks like Dunphy's holding a shotgun. That's the position that he has because you're right. He could fall off the board if he did it any other way.
Because that was a
But
chunky dude. He could have taken Dunph right out.
exactly. So Dunphy's execution was comedic, perfectly timed. He's at presumably snapper. It's on the, the soup
Goldie
along
somewhere.
the super bank somewhere. So it's a long right hand and it's a waist high wave. And Dunphy has enough time to like fully grab the leash with both hands and pull it like in a shotgun motion to really eject the surfer off of his board. So it's like if somebody's going to burn you, what are you going to do? Get mad? You're on the Gold Coast.
Yell
Like
at
it's
him.
guaranteed. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're guaranteed to get burned there. But what you can do is make an incredibly funny Instagram clip. And so shout
exactly.
out to Dunphy and shout out and yes, Barrel to bringing back the leash pull from Lance Burkhart to now. It needs to be, I mean, it is a very, like you said, emotionally damaging, shaming way to inflict your revenge on the surfer who is in front of you without it can't you can't even get mad about it. You know what I mean? It can't turn into a fight at that point. It is just shameful and hilarious.
The second greatest leash pull I've ever witnessed was in at Pipeline during a contest. And in that contest, I think it was either Siege or Damo, but I think it was Damo. And Siege, please call in if it was you. Surfing against the dreaded what's his dude from Dean Morrison, Dean Dingo Morrison. And so I was watching this heat from the sand there, and Damo, let's call it Damo, was like paddling for a wave and then just like went, and it was a big one, like a proper pipe wave, and just went over the handlebars, just like paddle, and then you just see him like tumble, like gets blown up. And I was like, whoa, that's weird. Uh, and then see him come in, go to the judges, whatever zone. He's standing there at the base. There's like full Damo style, like just started popping off in his good Floridian accent about how Dingo yanked his leash.
And did he get what did the judges do about it?
Nothing. I mean, I think if Dame would have been a North Shore heavy, then there would have been
Yeah.
something. But if I recall, there was not even any. It was like, oh, no, what are you gonna do?
Dingo surfed in Paul Fisher's free surf heat,
Sure
by
did.
the way.
There's no more dirty dogs like Dingo. Dingo had like a reputation as being a dirt ball in the lineup, like doing bad things like that,
But
like leash pulling in a heat. I feel that everybody, either they are so good at it now that you don't see it at all, or nobody's doing like dirty pool anymore out there.
no, that's where and the nickname Dingo came from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, well, yeah, the leash pull, I really haven't had it happen to me in 20 years. But when I was first getting into surfing and my friends and I were, just reprobates, basically screwing around with each other constantly, I had it happen to me a few times. Nothing boiled my blood more because you were like really amped to get this wave, whatever
You're in the
wave's coming
moment.
to you.
You
Yeah,
were
in
you
the
were
moment.
looking down the line.
And it's like, this is our life was surfing. And so now the wave is coming to me. I'm in position. I'm going. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do. And they stopped me from doing it with a leash pull. I mean, I turned around at times and wanted to knock people's teeth out.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing more infuriating than that.
Because it's like the ultimate uh like lack of energy getting released. Like we're because
Totally.
already in your mind, you are surfing that wave, right? You are like, and then not being able to do it, and not because like there's a similar but not even close to the level of frustration if you blow a good wave, right? If
Yeah.
you got this wave and you're blah, blah, and you go for the pop up and your hand slips and you like bonk and then you like I fully blew that wave. But when you didn't blow it, when that wave got blown for you from behind unexpectedly.
It is
Oof.
out of sync with nature. And it's
Yeah.
like there's nothing that would make this happen in the real world except that villain is taking this away from me.
I hope that longboarder had the similar amounts of vitriol in himself towards dear Michael Dunphy.
He had it coming though. I mean,
Yeah.
he clearly burned Dunphy on that thing.